Hey everyone, it's your girl EuphoriasRoom, and you are listening to Local Vibes.
Thank you so much for joining us, EuphoriasRoom. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing,
Great.
really good.
So let's run through what you just performed. Can you share with our audiences what those songs were, where those songs came from? Yeah, just like to share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So we start with a song called Love Letter, and Love Letter is a song that I released at the beginning of 2024, and I thought it would be a really good full circle moment to perform it now be at Local Vibes because I feel like it is a good way to end my year since I started my year with it. It's one of my favorite songs that I've written this year. I wrote it kind of from a poet's perspective, and it is a love letter to myself. And speaking of my experience with, romantic relationships, even platonic relationships, and just how I gave that power back to myself that I would give to others. And it's about like, when you pour so much of yourself into other people, you're kind of left depleted and with nothing until something just finally clicks that it's like, no, it has to be me. It always has to be me. So that's what Love Letter is. It's like, we all go through something. We all go through the phases of being in love, but then at some point it'll click that like loving yourself is the best love that there is out there. Then we go into Big Steppa, and Big Steppa is a oldie but goodie, one of my favorites. I made that beat back in 2021 and then recorded the song and released it in 2022. I like Big Steppa just because it's more like of a grit. It shows my gritty side, but also showcases my wordplay. So I had to throw that one in there just to give a little bit more versatile style. Then we go into Players Club, which is the fan favorite. Dropped Players Club 2021, did a music video for it and dropped that this October. Guys should go check that out. And Players Club is really fun. It pays homage to a late 90s classic movie by Ice Cube called The Players Club. So it's one of my favorites. And then we end with Notorious Euphoria, which is a remix to Notorious B.I.G's Notorious, but I flipped it and made it Euphoria. And that one is, my pen game I had a good time with that one. So that's what you'll be hearing during this session.
Yeah, it was amazing. A slew of songs. I really enjoyed hearing all of them, and a lot of East Coast, influences. With that you've been producing since you were 2019.
Yes.
So what influence has East Coast hip hop had on your own production, because you are a producer?
Mm-hmm.
And what were the origins of your music career, of your production career? Yeah.
So my dad is a heavy, heavy, heavy East Coast rap fan, and the household that I lived in is like, even if it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night and you had to get ready for school the next morning and my dad is in a mood, oh, them speakers are blasting through the house. So I grew up listening to heavy, heavy East Coast influences. And I've always kind of loved the flow of East Coast production, and East Coast rappers. I love West Coast too. I don't want to, I'm not biased at all. I'm a big West Coast and East Coast girl. But yeah, a lot of my influences that you do hear, like even with Big Step was definitely like, when I made it, I was like, oh, this is some like New York shit right here. Or, sorry, New York stuff right here. So my dad is a big influence in since I was a kid for when it comes to that. And then as I grew up and started working on music production, Jay Dilla was another huge, huge influence for me. I actually, back in 2016, I made a song called Dilla, and it was my very first beat I ever made, actually. And I was trying to mimic some of the styles of Jay Dilla in that one, and I wrote a song paying homage to him. So with that, and also I don't really know if Virginia is considered like East Coast-ish kind of, but then you got Timberland, you got Missy Elliott, and I was a little teeny bopper when they were at the height of their career. So I'm watching them just like completely like mesmerized by what they're doing and the music and the way things sound. It sounded like nothing you've heard before, and I was always able to catch that, and I became a huge fan at such a young age. So those have been big influences for me when it comes to like sound, and when I think about creating music and wanting to be like outside the box, I think about the artists who already kind of stepped outside the box and implement that into what I do.
Yeah. And before the show, we were actually discussing a little bit about your time in Chicago. So, can you speak a little bit about that, and if there were any artists there that you kind of refer back to in any way in your production?
Yeah, so I left Minneapolis 2013 for college, showing my age, but I went to Columbia College Chicago, and it was by far the most amazing experience I've ever had. And that's what kind of led me into a lot of the things that I do, like just working independently, learning how to mix, learning how to master, and learning how to produce, learning how to do it all myself, because my school gave you the tools to be able to learn how to do all the music creations that you could possibly need on your own. And like you could sign up for anything, no matter what your major was. Like I could have been a fashion major and I still could have picked up an audio engineering class, and that's how versatile they were on campus. So shout out to Columbia. And when I was in college, that was kind of like the rise of Alex Wiley and Chance the Rapper and Closed Sessions. That's the record label that was popping around that time, and they were signing a lot of independent hip hop artists. So, certain programs that I was in school allowed us to work really closely with Closed Sessions, and kind of being able to shadow and like be under a mentor while these artists were creating. So it's kind of just being in the background and watching them develop over time, which was really, really cool. So yeah, that's Chicago had a huge, huge influence on my sound today, and kind of how I bring my flow. Chicago's really like, I won't say they're ruthless, but they are ruthless. Like if you're not coming with it, like if you're not coming hard with it, if you're not showing them the best of the best, they'll let you know. Like there's a way that Chicago will be like, nah, that ain't it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, they birthed Kanye. Common actually graduated from Columbia.
Oh.
So yeah, I had one of his professors who could not stop talking about it. But yeah, Chicago just has a way of like, like, oh, that was good, but come on, like come harder. And, if you don't have tough skin, that can really get to you. But for me, it just kept making me go back to the drawing board. Like I've evolved and transformed as an artist so many times because of being in the Chicago music scene, and just knowing that like, okay, we got to keep going, we got to keep evolving, we got to keep discovering ourselves and our sound. So that was really amazing experience for me living in Chicago and having that in the music scene.
Yeah. And mentorship is such a important aspect of music and artistry. And is this something that you've ever considered doing on your own time for artists in Chicago or Minneapolis or St. Paul? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a Minneapolis girly, born and raised. It's always been a dream of mine for when things start to be very successful for me, to create a program here for young African American women to learn audio engineering and production. I would love, love, love to like have a building where, girls in middle school or high school could come and have like an after school program and learn this, because it's a good skill to have, and I don't see a lot of us represented in the industry behind the scenes when it comes, we're usually the artists, we're usually in front of the camera, and I would like to see a lot more young Black women learn the arts of audio engineering. And so I would absolutely love to start at a lower level of just like mentoring. If anyone wants to learn how to make beats or do a quick mix and master on your song, like I'm all there for it.
Mm-hmm. So recently there's been a very large rise of, female rappers, with the likes of Sexy Red, with Doechii, and, is there anything about, the way females rappers flow or production is keeps you, I guess, inspired in any sort of way, or is there something that those artists are doing in particular that you try to integrate into your own sound?
Yes, I love when people do things differently and are unique and are a little weird. Actually, not a little weird. I like artists that are a lot of weird. Like, it's so intriguing. Like, catch my attention, please. And Doechii is one of those ones. I'm glad that you brought her up. Doechii's probably the one that I'm watching the most right now. Also, Doja Cat. I'm a huge Doja Cat fan as well. I like when people, again, referencing back to when I was talking about production, step outside of the box of what it's supposed to be, the textbook. Like, oh, this is textbook what hip hop is. Well, I'm going to take it and create something completely different. Like I said, it was one of those things that caught my attention when it came to Missy Elliott back in the day. It's like, okay, yeah, you're doing the hip hop. Like, you can't say she's not hip hop, but it's the way that she's doing it. Like, no one's doing it like her. She's completely thinking outside the box with it. And Doechii is one of those artists that I think right now is just giving us a breath of fresh air when it comes to her artistry. I believe that you don't have to just be stuck in the same status quo of like, this is what people want to hear right now, so I'm just going to make this quick, fast, in a hurry. I want you to like dig deeper, like make something that really you can like feel in the soul. And I think I have a good mix of both, of like, okay, here's something quick, here's the TikTok cut, right? Here's that one. But then here's the, oh snap, she's actually really, really cold. Let me tune in and actually really listen. Like, I want to make things that grabs people's attention like instantly. And then I want to make things that surprises people, like, oh, I didn't even know that she could go there with it. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna make a hip-hop rock song one day, I don't know, just because I can and because I can push myself to those limits. And yeah, artists like Doja Cat, those are artists for me that, in hip hop, female rappers specifically, that do that for me.
hmm I like how you brought up rock or just other genres and their influence on hip hop. So, and you're also praised for your versatility, in your production in electronic music, even, or indie rock as well. So, is it ever difficult for you to produce a boom bap, sort of hip hop song and then go to more of a indie or electronic, song next?
No, it's not at all. I like to keep my mind open. There's some times when I'm working on a boom bap, but then I hear a completely different sound in the midst of me working on the boom bap, and now boom bap just got scrapped, and I'm gonna work on this. Like, I I have to do better with putting more of my production out, but I have a huge catalog of beats that just they don't sound the same. Um, I kind of make my beats and my production based on how I'm feeling in the moment.
hmm Yeah.
So, it all depends on that too. But yeah, I don't have an issue with being able to lane switch at all when with genres. Like, music for me is so versatile. It's like such a big world out there of music. Like, you can't just stay in one sector of it. I like to explore. And I like to find sounds that, like, I've never heard this before. Let's see what I can do with it. So that's what I like when,
hmm
yeah, I can go anywhere with it.
Yeah. And exploring is such a fun thing to do. And you also mentioned before, too, as well, you'll have music on while you're cleaning, to find a certain piece that you'd like to sample. Do you have any other
Yeah.
methods of, finding samples?
What I find myself doing a lot these days is I just sit in my music studio. I go on YouTube and I just start listening to the jams. I start with a song that I really, really like the other day. I know I gave the example of like listening to Darling Nikki by Prince, the live version, but then I'll go listen to like I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston, and then just let that take me down a list of things. And I'm just like, I like sitting in the studio and like watching it, because watching it kind of puts me in the moment with the artist. And then next thing you know, I'm like extremely inspired. I'm like, yeah, I need to create now. But I enjoy just kind of having the feeling of like the nostalgia take over when I'm listening to older music. And even when I'm listening to new music, when a song comes on that I might not know of, like it puts me in this moment where I'm like, the world of music is so big, right? There's so many songs out there that we know nothing about. And so when those songs pop on, to be able to have an idea pop into my head about what I could do with it and like bring it to my audience because they might not have heard anything about it, it's kind of like now I'm in a world of music education. Like, oh, y'all didn't know about this. I just found out about it and now I'm about to put y'all onto it. But I'm about to put you onto it through my creation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I would like to circle back to a music video you just released. You know, that also went along with the song titled "Players Club." You know, I've watched the video myself. It's very highly produced. It's amazing. So I'd like to hear more about what went into the production of this music video, who helped out, and where, you know, where was this filmed?
Yes, I will talk all day about Players Club. No, Players Club was one of my favorite music videos that I've done. Still on a cloud nine about it. I shot Players Club with Drew Just Snapped, Drew Myers. Shout out to Drew. And it was just me and him. Like, he's kind of been my road dog this year. Any idea that I've had so far, I just come to him and I'm like, yo, I got this idea. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, come on, let's do it. So it's always nice to have a person like that in your life. So Players Club was one of those where I was like, yo, I'm ready to just jump right on in and take a risk and like put all of my budget into this because I just know it's going to be amazing. So he was like, all right, let's do it. I'm down. And I wrote up the treatment. I had to listen to the song a couple times just to like think about what I wanted to do because I had an idea for Players Club of how I wanted it to be shot, but that was back when I released it in 2021. So, you know, over time things change, ideas change. So I had to think in the now how I wanted Players Club to be represented. And so we did a photo shoot at the beginning of the year, actually, at Studio Raw STP, which is in St. Paul. And there were so many different sets in this one area. Like Eric, shout out to Eric too. Eric is amazing. He creates like 6-7 sets in this one warehouse that photographers can come in and like do photo shoots or video shoots even for. So when we did the photo shoot in February, I was like, yeah, I need to shoot a music video in here. And so it was always in my mind. I was like, I need this set, I need those TVs. So I'm just picking out things and manifesting that I'm about to do a video here. So then, you know, a couple months go by and we finally decide, like, all right, let's put pedal to the metal and let's get this done. We choose to go back to Studio Raw. We book it, get all the stuff together. And I styled the outfits myself. And I wanted to make sure that I incorporated a little bit of the movie into Players Club. So the intro to Players Club actually was all my idea. When you see me walking out of the car and just the shot of like the fur coat, the boots and the bell bottoms, all my idea. And you can hear Bernie Mac is the clip in the beginning. And it's a section of the movie where he's talking about the origin of strip clubs and how they came to America because he's the strip club owner in the movie Players Club. So I wanted to make sure that that was in there because for those who know about Players Club, it's a nostalgia feeling that happens when you click on the video. And then I wanted the lettering to be a little bit like Quentin Tarantino because I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. So the coloring is also a play on that too. And I just threw all these things at Drew. I'm like, I need clips from the movie. I need Quentin Tarantino. I need this, and that. And he's like, okay, all right, got it. And he's like executed it so perfectly. And then of course I had my dancers bringing back dance breaks. We need to bring back more dance breaks in music videos. That was really fun to have. And yeah, Players Club was just, it wasn't a lot actually that went into it. It was just like, yep, this is what I want to do. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. This is how I want it shot. I created like a storyboard, kind of more than like a treatment. I treated it like a story, down to when I get out of the car to when the TV clicks off at the last second of the music video. I wanted it to all like run as a story. But yeah, it's one of my favorite music videos I've ever done. I'm so proud of it. It's my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, it's incredibly impressive to see everything, and hearing everything come together is just so, it's amazing.
Yeah, I try to be very intentional with everything I do, like all of my art. I try to make sure that I'm an artist that moves with intention. I want people to be able to like catch, like live in my brain just for like 5 seconds and be able to catch what I had in here, because everything is intentional, because I want it to like really give what it's supposed to give. I want it to be a lasting effect.
Exactly. I think one part of that music video that I love so much is the choreography. So who are those dancers exactly?
They are Janae and Trisha. Those are my babies, literally my best friends. Anytime I have a show or a project like Players Club, I call them and I'm like, yo, I got this idea. And I don't dance, okay? I can't dance to save my life. I can hit a little 1-2 step now, but I don't dance. But I've been trying to push myself more into doing things that I don't normally do, because I feel like it enhances your artistry. And so Janae and Trisha, they came up with the choreography. And it's actually, the whole song has full choreography that they've created. But we specifically like took that section and made choreography specific to the music video. And they are amazing dancers in the Minneapolis scene. They actually have a showcase coming up in February with a bunch of other choreographers and dancers that's getting ready to come up. They are amazing. Anytime I'm telling them, I'm like, okay, in my head, I see me doing this, but like I don't know how to, like, now take what I just did and create and add on to it. And so they're like, okay, we got you. And it was such a blast getting that together. But yeah, those are my girls. Shout out to Trisha and Janae.
Yeah. Well, we are heading towards the end of our interview. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we finish up?
Just, follow me on all social media platforms. I go by UU on the beat, EuphoriasBeat. I'm dropping a lot of beats soon, very, very soon. So if you're an artist and you're looking for something new that you need for an EP or a quick project, holla at me or visit my BeatStars, beatstars.com. I'm on there. And yeah, there's going to be so much, so much coming out soon. There's so much that I'm excited to produce and put out for you guys.
Sweet. Well, once again, thank you for stopping by. It was absolutely amazing to meet you and to hear you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. This is amazing.